In every culture, across every generation, one question has remained deeply rooted in our collective consciousness. What happens when we die? The mystery of what lies beyond is something we all must face, yet few find peace in the uncertainty. In our journey today, we'll be exploring profound answers from diverse cultural and spiritual perspectives, seeking comfort and acceptance around this universal experience. Throughout history, cultures and religions have provided us with unique ways of understanding death, not as an end, but as part of a greater cycle. By examining how different traditions and beliefs approach this final chapter, we might uncover insights that help us live more fully, grounded in acceptance and purpose. The ultimate goal? To bring you a sense of peace, knowing that the unknown doesn't have to be a source of fear. If you're new here and find these topics meaningful, subscribe to our channel to join us as we explore the questions that shape our human experience. This journey could provide not only answers, but also tools to help you approach life's greatest mystery with openness and strength. Let's embark on this exploration of cultural wisdom and timeless teachings, to see how they might offer guidance, inspiration, and perhaps even a shift in our perspective on life and death. Death is one of the few certainties in life, yet it often fills us with profound discomfort. For many, the mere thought of the unknown, the finality, and the transition from life to whatever comes next can stir up deep anxiety. This fear is natural, but it can also lead us to avoid thinking about it, living in a way that doesn't fully embrace the reality of our own existence. In this video, we'll explore how different cultures and spiritual traditions address the mysteries of death and the afterlife. By understanding these perspectives, we hope to bring you a sense of comfort and a new way of looking at death, not as a frightening unknown, but as a part of life's natural cycle. From ancient wisdom to contemporary beliefs, many teachings encourage us to view death as a transformation, a transition, or even a doorway rather than an end. By considering these viewpoints, we're given a space to reflect on our own beliefs, helping us find meaning and clarity. This reflection can allow us to live more peacefully, free from the constant shadow of fear that death sometimes casts. Our exploration will reveal that, though the details differ, nearly every culture offers a comforting answer to the question of what happens after we pass. These teachings can empower us to embrace the beauty of life and the inevitability of death with equal grace. Now, let's dive into the heart of these perspectives and discover the wisdom they offer about life's ultimate mystery. Throughout history, countless religions and cultures have pondered what happens after death, each offering unique beliefs and rituals to make sense of this transition. In this section, we'll delve into 4 major perspectives that approach the concept of death in distinct, comforting ways, providing answers and guiding principles that resonate across time and geography. 3.1 Eastern Religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, 400 words. In Eastern religions like Hinduism and Buddhism, death is not viewed as an absolute end but as a natural step in an ongoing cycle. Hinduism teaches that life and death are part of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This process is guided by karma, the belief that one's actions in life directly affect future incarnations. A person's spiritual growth in life determines their next existence, with the ultimate goal being to reach moksha, a state of liberation from this endless cycle. Hindu teachings encourage individuals to focus on righteous living and spiritual growth, offering the reassurance that life is a journey towards something greater. In Buddhism, the concept of reincarnation is also present but emphasizes the cycle of suffering, or dukkha, which arises from attachment. Buddhists seek to attain nirvana, a state beyond suffering, through enlightenment and release from desires. Death, in Buddhism, represents an opportunity for rebirth into a higher state, depending on one's level of detachment and understanding of life's impermanence. This perspective teaches followers to embrace death without fear, as it is seen as a part of spiritual evolution. By living mindfully and compassionately, one can break free from the cycle and attain peace. 3.2 Spiritism and Reincarnation, 400 words. Spiritism, a belief system rooted in the teachings of 19th-century spiritualists like Allan Kardec, proposes that death is a temporary separation of the spirit from the physical body. Spiritists believe in reincarnation as a means of spiritual progress, where each life offers lessons that bring the soul closer to enlightenment. After death, spirits transition to a non-physical realm, where they undergo a period of reflection and learning before reincarnating again. The aim is for each soul to improve morally and spiritually, refining itself over many lifetimes. Spiritist practices, such as communication with departed souls through mediums, reinforce the idea that the spirit world is closely connected to the living. This perspective offers comfort by suggesting that the deceased continue to watch over and influence the lives of their loved ones, creating a bond between the physical and spiritual realms. The emphasis on moral improvement and forgiveness can provide solace, as it implies that everyone has a purpose, and that death is simply a continuation of one's spiritual journey. 3.3 Western religions, Christianity and Islam, 400 words. In Western religions such as Christianity and Islam, death is often seen as a gateway to a realm of eternal existence. Christianity teaches that after death, individuals are judged based on their faith and actions. Those who have accepted God's grace and followed a virtuous path are promised eternal life in heaven, a place of peace and joy, while others face punishment or purification. This belief encourages followers to live with moral integrity, as the afterlife is viewed as a direct consequence of one's choices on earth. Islam offers a similar view of an eternal afterlife but places emphasis on akhirah, the belief in the Day of Judgment. Muslims believe that upon death, individuals enter barzakh, an intermediate state where souls await final judgment. On the Day of Judgment, each soul's actions will be weighed, determining whether they will enter Jannah, paradise, or Jahannam, hell. This belief system reinforces a life of devotion, service, and piety, as each action brings one closer to God. The concept of divine justice in Islam reassures believers that death is not the end, but rather the beginning of eternal peace for those who have lived a righteous life. 3.4 Ancestral cultures and ancient beliefs, 400 words. Many ancient cultures, including the Egyptians and various indigenous groups, view death as a transition to an ancestral realm or a spiritual plane, where the dead continue to guide and protect the living. For the ancient Egyptians, the afterlife was a place where the soul could continue its existence if it had lived morally and preserved its identity through burial rites. They believed that the soul would journey through trials in the underworld, ultimately reaching a place of eternal life if deemed worthy. Similarly, many indigenous cultures around the world view death not as an end, but as a change in form, where the deceased become part of the natural elements or the spiritual forces surrounding their communities. Rituals and ceremonies are conducted to honor the spirits of the dead, acknowledging that they remain a vital part of the living world. This view offers comfort through a sense of continuity and the belief that ancestors watch over and assist their descendants, maintaining a strong, interconnected bond across generations. Each of these spiritual perspectives provides a unique lens through which to view death. Whether it's the cyclical rebirth in Eastern religions, the ongoing spiritual evolution in Spiritism, the promise of eternal life in Western religions, or the ancestral connections seen in ancient beliefs, every tradition brings its own comfort and wisdom. These beliefs help individuals cope with the unknown, framing death as a natural or even purposeful stage in a larger journey. As we explore these views, we're reminded that across cultures and centuries, humanity has found profound ways to approach the inevitability of death. This diversity of belief reveals a shared need for answers, but also a shared hope, a hope that death does not mark an end, but rather a transformation. These traditions teach us to live with intention, prepare for the unknown, and, above all, to see death as part of a greater whole. As we've seen through these diverse cultural perspectives, death is universally recognized as an inevitable part of the human journey. While our societies often avoid discussions about mortality, many philosophies encourage us to view death as a natural, even beautiful, process. This shift in perception can transform how we live, helping us embrace both life's fragility and its potential with newfound awareness. One perspective shared by many ancient and modern thinkers alike is that death gives meaning to life itself. By acknowledging our mortality, we're often inspired to live more fully and appreciate each moment. Philosophers such as the Stoics in ancient Greece saw the contemplation of death as essential to living a good life. The Stoics practiced memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning, remember you must die, as a way to keep perspective, focusing on what truly matters. Rather than fostering fear, this awareness of mortality encourages a deeper appreciation for life's fleeting moments and the opportunity to live with purpose. Modern science, too, provides a viewpoint that helps us understand death as a continuation rather than a termination. In nature, we see that nothing truly ends, energy transforms, and every living being contributes to the cycle of life. Our bodies decompose, nourishing the earth, becoming part of new life forms, trees, rivers, and even the air we breathe. This natural recycling reflects a powerful truth. Though our form may change, our essence remains connected to the world around us. This perspective can be deeply comforting. When we start to view death as a process in which we return to the earth, we recognize a profound interconnectedness. Instead of focusing solely on what is lost, we can see how we become part of something larger, a continuous flow that binds all living things. By accepting death as part of life, we create space to live more freely, focusing less on fears of what's to come and more on creating a legacy of kindness, compassion, and meaning. In recognizing that our time is finite, we may find ourselves better equipped to face challenges, build relationships, and live with intentionality. Understanding different perspectives on death can be transformative, but how can we bring this wisdom into our everyday lives? These teachings aren't just abstract ideas. They offer practical guidance on how to live more meaningfully and peacefully in the present, embracing both life and death with grace. One powerful practice is creating a gratitude ritual each day, a habit encouraged by many spiritual and philosophical traditions. By pausing to reflect on what we're thankful for, we shift our focus from what we lack to the abundance already present in our lives. This simple act fosters mindfulness and gratitude, reinforcing the idea that each day is a gift. Another way to integrate these teachings is by considering our legacy. Writing a legacy letter, a message to loved ones expressing our values, memories, and hopes, can be a profound exercise in self-reflection. It's a reminder to live each day with intention and to communicate our appreciation and wisdom to those we care about. Living in the present moment is another practical application, as emphasized in many of the philosophies we explored. Practices like mindfulness and meditation help us focus on the now, rather than worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. By grounding ourselves in the present, we can lead lives that are richer, more joyful, and more resilient. These practices allow us to live with purpose, creating a life that feels complete and fulfilled, no matter what lies beyond. The exploration of death through the lens of various cultures, philosophies, and spiritual teachings reveals a profound common thread: the potential for peace and acceptance. No matter how different the views or practices, the central idea remains that death is not to be feared, but understood as a natural part of life's rhythm. Throughout history, people have wrestled with the unknown, crafting stories and rituals that make sense of our mortality. The cultures we've explored offer not only comfort but practical wisdom. Hinduism and Buddhism teach us the power of reincarnation and spiritual evolution, offering a view of death as a necessary transition rather than a finality. Christianity and Islam emphasize eternal life and divine justice, providing hope and purpose in the face of life's fragility. Meanwhile, Spiritism presents a view of death as a return to the spiritual world, guiding souls toward greater wisdom, while ancient traditions celebrate the ongoing relationship with ancestors. Each perspective, whether based in belief, ritual, or practice, encourages us to see life and death through a lens of continuity, transformation, and grace. As we reflect on these teachings, we realize that the key to overcoming the fear of death lies not in avoiding it, but in embracing the beauty and impermanence of life. In knowing that death is a chapter, not the final sentence, we can let go of the fear and uncertainty that often shadows our days. By accepting our mortality, we are given the gift of living more fully, appreciating every moment for its unique beauty, and nurturing a deeper sense of connection with others. The unknown no longer holds power over us. Instead, it becomes a part of the human experience that we can approach with peace, understanding, and even gratitude. As we conclude this exploration into the different perspectives on death, we are left with a profound realization. Death, though mysterious and inevitable, does not need to be feared. Instead, it can be embraced as an integral part of the cycle of life. The teachings we've encountered, from the rebirth cycle of Hinduism and Buddhism to the eternal afterlife in Christianity and Islam, and the ancestral connections in ancient traditions, each offer valuable insights into how we can understand and navigate the concept of mortality with greater peace and acceptance. The fear of death often stems from our desire for permanence and control, but these teachings remind us that death is neither an end nor a void. It is a transformation, a continuation, or a reunion with the greater whole. The many ways cultures have interpreted death reflect our shared human need for connection, meaning, and purpose beyond our earthly existence. Incorporating these perspectives into our daily lives allows us to live with more intention, to appreciate the fleeting moments we have, and to approach our own mortality not with dread, but with the peace that comes from understanding its place in the grand cycle of life. Death is a natural part of our human journey, and by accepting it, we find the freedom to live more fully. The teachings of cultures and spiritual traditions offer us not only comfort, but a way to transform how we experience life and death, allowing us to embrace both with grace, wisdom, and gratitude.